All right. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by, having a look-see. Hope you stay with us a little while. We're here over at Prince Street at Paddington as we're getting ready for doing steel beams. Now, I've had a few requests to do a couple of videos on how to fit steel beams, so we're going to do that. Okay, so thanks for those guys making those requests. We'll try our best to help where we can. I'm still of the old school. I still do things by hand. I don't use machinery in a lot of things, except for where I need extra lift, which we got a duct lifter, which is what we use to raise the beams. That's arriving tomorrow, but we'll show you how to put one up by hand today, I hope. So see how we go. It's already nearly lunchtime. It's a late start. I had to go see a friend on another site and talk to them for a while. Then we had a nice breakfast, and now we're down here to do some work. So what we got, these beams here are the original beams that were part of the house before we got to it. Okay, so these UBs, they were already here. All right, so we built around them, and what we did there is to brace them properly, we put the post all the way to the top, and then we welded down the side. So we got 250 mil of weld on both sides, which acts not just as a support for the beam, but also as a brace for the house. These ones on this side, to make it easier to let the house down because of how far we didn't have that footing there at the time. So it was a nice big cavity there because there was a footing, it was all dug for the footing. So yeah, she was a meter deep from there, meter lower. So what I did was I cut the steel back so I could put those posts in there. These are 100 by 50s. We put 100 by 50s in so they could go inside a core-filled block wall. And once again, we cut them so we could weld down the side, but I also left that top plate going through on top of that stump. So we left that stump 20 mil low, and I cut the top, so it was only 18 mil or so left, and that's sitting on top. So it held up all by itself without having to do any welding while we were busy doing the other end and other stuff, and came back and we welded that yesterday. All right, so they've been sitting there for over a week and a half, waiting for us to weld it. That side there, unfortunately, we didn't do that. We had to cut all the way to the bearer, so they had to be supported and welded off before we could let the house down. I'll take all the gear away. We put some macros under it to hold it up. We took gear away and then welded it up. But today we're going to start getting ready for putting beams up. So I've got my painted beams. Now we painted these with Interplus 1180, which is a 2-pack epoxy that I managed to get hold of from International Paints. Now this 2-pack epoxy was formulated by a chemist that works for International Paints, and we raised his house quite a few years ago now. That's how I found out about the product. It's actually formulated to paint oil rigs with before they go out in the ocean. So I thought it was a good idea to use for a paint to put on the steel to help prevent rust and corrosion. And of course, if you want to get away with putting it out in the ocean, you want 2, maybe 3 coats of the stuff. This has only got 1. So yeah, she lasts for a long time out in the weather, but yeah, it needs at least 2 before you stick it out in the weather permanently. All right, so that's what we got that painted. We have to cut those and drill them to suit what we're doing. So here we have the entryway. That is a 2.7 meter beam going through there because it's got to go all the way to the outside bearer, and we've got to take those wires off and pull those to the side, clip them up so we don't damage them, because that's the wiring for upstairs. We don't want to damage that because we don't want the sparky to have to rewire the house. Okay, I've got to remove that fuse box, take it off in such a way that it's still okay, so the sparky just has to reconnect it and screw it up because I've got a steel beam going there. So this requires some electrical work. Now there's no electricity attached to this house at this time, so we're safe to pull and cut and what we want. But okay, we always treat electrical wires as though they're live. Whenever you play with electrical wires, always treat them as though it's a live wire. So we do not want to cut them, we do not want to tear them, snag them, we don't want to do anything. We want to unclip them, pull them away from the wall so we can then clip them up with some nails along the floor joist out of the way from where we're doing the work, okay? So if you guys are thinking about doing the same thing, yes, you've got to take all the stuff out of the way. So whether it's copper pipe for your water, or clips or electrical wires, whatever you're doing, be careful, take them off gently, because the last thing you want to do is have to replace it all. All we want to do is unclip them, pull them away, get them away off the bearer, and then clip them up so they're out of the way, 5-6 inches or 150 mil away from the bearer, so we can get into it, drill through, put the bolts in we need to put in, and then the electrician, which has to come back anyway, can then reorganize it and make it all safe and proper again. Okay? So that's what we're doing, that's what we want to do. Now, as you see, we've got some different spans. Now, all these spans we have here, all these beams, like that's a big span through there. It's going to be that's 4 meters there. So the piece of steel that goes there is going to be bigger than the one that goes on the back one, because we've only got a meter between, or 1200 between those two stumps, and only three and a bit meters to that one, and another 3 meters to that one. So the different spans be the smaller piece of steel. This one here is, according to the engineer, is a 200 PFC, which is the one we've got down there. It's the first one. The other two are 150s. So we have it all engineered. If you guys are looking to do this and work it out, a good idea to talk to someone who knows sizes. If you want to do it at home and you're not doing all the drawings or going to an engineer to get it all sorted out, and you're just looking to put something up just so you can move one stump, do double check. If you want some advice, you can comment on the video as to sizes, and I can give you a recommendation. But like that span there, that's 2,750 to the outside to that stump, but it's only 2,500 to the post. Okay, from that post to that post, it's only 2,500. We're going an extra 250 mil going up there. So a 150C channel is fine for that, because it's only floor weight. We're not holding walls up, we're not doing anything special, we're not holding any extra weight. It's only floor weight. But it's only 2.5 meters, so 150 is well and truly strong enough for that. Okay, where the outside one, which is where we got to get that bearer, it's on the outside, we've got to catch that because that's cantilevered outside. We've got to put a beam on there first before we put these other ones in, and that beam is going to be 4.2 meters from that bearer over there to this one here, and for that we need a 200 PFC. Okay, because it's holding wall weight. So we're going a bigger beam there, and the 150s will hold it up on either end, and we've got a little piece that just goes in from that stump out just to hold all that together, because this bearer there gets cut out. We get 1200 or 1400 cut out of that because there's a stairwell that's coming down here. Okay, it's going to be a fancy stairwell. It's going to look nice when it's finished. We have to picture it in your head to see it, but yeah, she's going to be nice. So this is what we're doing, just going through a bit of this with you so you can get a rough idea what's going on. We then have to tension the bearers and the steel to make sure it's able to handle the weight. As for this one, for example, this is at 4 meter length of 200. It's got a sag at the moment in the middle. You probably can't see that from too close. I'll step back a bit. It's got a sag running through there. She's a bit dark, isn't it? That's what happens when you get under a house. But yeah, so that will, once we get a steel on the side of that, and we get it bolted on either end, we'll then push that bearer up in the middle till it's above the steel, so we get a sort of spring action, just like the leaf springs at the back of a car. We want that bearer to push down on the steel, that way the steel will be pushing up on the bearer. So between the two of them, they stop the bounce. If you don't do it, you end up with a bouncy floor, which is what most people do. And they wonder why the contractor didn't do it, didn't fix it. The contractor said, well, no, that's just the way it is. Well, it isn't. You get an old guard who actually knows how to do these things properly, you can fix all that. Okay? It's called tensioning. Something they don't do anymore. They're all lazy. They don't want to spend an extra 5 minutes to fix a small problem. But anyway, that we will go through over the next day or so as we take you through the video. So this is the first of the videos on how to prepare and then install the steel beam. So I hope that was helpful to give you a bit of insight as to what's got to happen before we put the beam up, okay? So we will keep you posted. You got to watch out for wires, like I'm putting that steel on the other side of that bearer, and that means these wires on this side are in the way also. So we have to move them out of the way because we're going to be drilling through with a 1/2 inch drill bit. And okay, we may have the wires out of one side gone, but the wires on this side we're going to clip with the drill, which is going to short out on the drill. It's going to cause a problem. So we've got to move them from both sides out of the way so we can put the steel beam up, okay? All right, guys. Hope that wasn't too boring for you, but we will talk again soon as I get this and we start preparing this for steel beam. Okay, thanks for viewing. Keep going, watch along. Please, if you like what you see, please hit the like button down there. Sorry for my big hand. Hit the like button down there and the subscribe if you would. It'd be much appreciated as we build this channel to keep it all going. Okay, thanks guys. Talk again soon. See ya.